And welcome, race fans, to another episode here at CRN with Pit Limit. Yeah, with the Pit Road Speed Limit Racing. They will be tackling on Charlotte here tonight. As they are finishing up their qualifying, I believe. We'll see down here. We'll bring up the track info here for you all to see, so you can see how warm it is outside. Let's see, they're at 77 degrees outside, and track temp is 74, so not too bad. I think it's going to be a nice, good night here for the drivers as they're finishing up qualifying. Just get a sneak peek at where everybody was working on here tonight. We'll enter this out. We'll pick up the tower here, and bring here the best time here. And let's just see how the time is for here as well. There's qualifying. They got a few minutes of qualifying out here. They got the 15 minutes, so definitely plenty of time out here, which was nice. Give me a little buffer to get in here tonight to get with the fans and get Carl up. Eventually, he's on a flight over here. Obviously, see, everything's loading up right now. Switching through the cars is getting a good view of all the beautiful paint schemes that everybody has on here tonight. So we have about 12 minutes. So who's your favorite driver here tonight? Who do you think is going to win right now? It is Dylan Jacobs on top of the 29.241. Then with Kyle Emerson in P number 2 at the moment. So there's plenty of time to kind of shake things down here tonight. And matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, I can look at the info, see how many laps they get for their qualifying. They get 2 laps, 15 minutes to two laps. maybe somebody added an extra one there. I appreciate it, but they can always, if everybody's done, they can always fast forward the session to the race if everybody's in there. But only 15 drivers with lap times in right now. Last count I got was 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22 drivers out here tonight. So 22 drivers tackling on the Charlotte. It's an iconic track. It's something that a lot of people start with on iRacing. I know I got plenty of laps around here. I've never been to Charlotte personally, but I know it's a big NASCAR town. So a lot of people go to Charlotte. I got friends that live up near Charlotte. Obviously, near Bristol as well. A lot of things going on in the Carolinas as far as entertainment wise. So right now it's a good one right now. And yeah, I wasn't expecting this much time for qualifying, but they're going to be out there for a long time tonight. They're going to be out here for 150 laps, which is usually a little more than average, I think, for sim racing sessions. But it kind of gives the drivers out here the opportunity to exercise, running around with each other, getting good pit stops, maybe good green flag run, get some strategy going, and maybe work some partnerships up with some people, taking your time, getting around here, because you can see the times for qualifying with the 16 drivers that have times in are very close. I mean, they're all 29 seconds, but then it goes 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, 0.6, all the way back. So everybody's extremely close as when it comes to time. So, a tenth, you think about it. I mean, it's not, it's just a tenth of a second. you blink that fast. So it's definitely going to be interesting out there. I'm getting great shots of all these cars with the camera angles that I got going on right at the moment. And definitely looking forward to seeing who's out there. But right now, that is a TJ. Yeah, that's TJ Hanley out there. In the 27 THD Designs car. Soundtrack Paints, X, Instagram, Facebook. You got all the logos there on the side of his car. So looking forward to seeing more of his paints or their paints out there. Whoever painted the car here tonight. So let's see, look at the driver info up there for everybody. Yeah. It's always good to have sometimes I got when I started iRacing and when I started racing, I obviously started on ovals, and then when I learned that you can make your own paints, that was very interesting. My first paint took me 3 days. It was very, very simple, but it was trying to learn the programs to get them out there, and some people just got a knack for it. And that, and on top of the knack of having for the program, they got the knack of the gift of expressing themselves and building beautiful, beautiful things. So I love to see them out there. But right now, TJ is the only one out on the track at the moment. So currently sitting in P11, so getting a pretty decent time in as well. A shout out to all the fans out there that are coming over or just joining us here tonight. Obviously, we were just over with CSRL as they were at Road Atlanta in the GT3 cars for 45 minutes. And I believe Craig Janczyk got the victory over there. And then Carl will be finished up their interviews and be over here very, very, very shortly. He'll just hop a quick flight and be in here in just a jiff. But we're gonna, we got a little bit more time here, and then we'll get things rolling. See that? See, they took the 7 minutes and they advanced the session. I go here, Cody, getting things done, moving the session up as they know that they are gonna have a pretty decent time around here tonight. So we'll go ahead and we will drop all this stuff. We'll go ahead and bring out the starting grid. So here's your starting grid. And on the pole here tonight, come on, is going to be the number 5 of Dylan Jacobs in that Kellogg's machine. And then in P number 2 is going to be Kyle Emerson. P number 3, Matthew Hack. And then Charlie Stafford being P number 4. Tiffany Ellis in the number 88. I've already seen some fans out there for Tiffany sitting in P number 5. Ron Milne back there in P number 6 in the number 91. Dylan Large back there in the number 95. Josh Duncan in the 7 in P number 8. Kelly Akron in P number 9 and the 19 here tonight. And then alongside is going to be Richard Covington in the number 21. TJ Hanley finishes there, is going to start in P number 11 with Thomas O'Connor in P number 12. And then back through the rest of the field here. P number 13, Cody Handler in number 17. Alec Bueno in the 16 and P number 14. 15th place will be Anthony Emerson. 16th will be Dylan Emerson. Cody Brewer out there in P number 17. Joe Francis in P number 18 and the number 50. William O'Connor in the number 9. Anthony Engelhard back there in number 37. Tyler Welch in the number 3 on P number 21. And then Kent Bice back there in the number 54 in P number 22. So we're going to have 22 drivers out here tonight. That is our starting field as we start here for 150 laps. So empty this out. And we'll get race information up here. Get the grid up here just temporarily. I like NASCAR ticker rolling stuff so we can clear off that screen. We get to see more and more action here. Get back up front here with Dylan. They roll off turn number 4, getting ready to take the green flag. Barney has the green flag in the air. And away we go. 150 laps here at Charlotte as Dylan Jacob leads them down to turn number 1. And number 13 comes down to the downside, to the inside there, looking to take number 2. We got some scrapping back there now for P number 3. That's Tiffany Ellis down on the low side. Kyle Emerson will fall back into P number 4. Single file down in turn number 3. Kyle looking to the low side. So multiple lanes being used here already. Lap number 1 will be led by Dylan Jacobs in the number 5. Followed by Matthew Hack, Kyle Emerson, Tiffany Ellis, Dylan Large for your top 5. Ron Millen, Charlie Stafford, TJ Hanley, Kelly Akron, and Cody Handler for your top 10. Got a couple movers moving through the field already here early. Got back here with team number 13 with Cody Handler. Excuse me, Cody Brewer. few other drivers trying to get a good jump here. Kent Bice got a nice jump into number 54. Currently down on that inside. We'll go back up front and see how the action is as the number 13 is all over that back bumper of the 5, looking to get some laps led here early. And one thing kind of here at Charlotte, obviously it's one of those tracks a lot of people are pretty comfortable with, got a lot of time around here, is tire wear. Tires can go away pretty quickly here, so you get about 10 to 15-ish laps out here with the new tires before the car really starts feeling upset. But these cars they're a lot different. I don't have a lot of like physical carts behind the wheel of these cars. I got a couple races. They're okay. Different, obviously they're the sequential shifting and stuff like that, so they've had them show up at different road races and stuff like that. So but right now it is see Kelly Emerson does move back into P03. Tiffany Ellis falls to 4th, and we do have a crash here on lap number 5. Caution is going to fly out. It looks like Alec Bueno, Josh Duncan, and William O'Connor involved. We'll go ahead and take a look. You can see there Alec coming down, forcing the 54. Oh, there it is. And that's the 7. Why is it calling? Let's see, Josh Duncan. So we'll go ahead and see what happened to the 7 here. The old-fashioned way, since SDK didn't want to get it. Oh, and it just looks like the 7 got a little heavy on the gas. The 12 was blinking just a little bit, but the 7 getting loose. With the 7 getting loose, everybody's going to start checking up. He's trying to hang on to it here as he comes across near the Geico restart zone. Ends up heading towards the outside wall right there by the lights. Hits the wall, bounces, trying to still hold it, gets tagged, and then T-boned. So early caution here at Charlotte. We're going to go back live here and see what people decide to do. Do people come down early pit lane? It doesn't look like we have some takers. Got Hanley, Emerson, Bryce, Francis, O'Connor, Lueno, all coming down the pits. And this can kind of play out, down the line. Obviously, we're starting really super early here, and we're only 7 laps in, but those 7 laps could play big dividends here. If this race were to go green for a long period of time, and those drivers stay out, maybe they put some people a lap down. Maybe they, maybe they don't have to make that one extra pit stop. Maybe they don't need a splash of fuel at the end. Who knows? It's something that's just in the cards, in the books, and it throws around like strategy a little bit. Shout out there to Black Darth, Emma Kuhn, Tex Pelt, Steve Celeste, and Kathy Ellis, obviously. It's always good to see the fans come out here and support their drivers. Paul Handwork will join me here very shortly as he's finishing up over there with CSRL as they were racing at Road America, or over there at Atlanta. So it was definitely a lot of fun, a good race to watch, very close, good battles all over the field. 34 drivers I think over there tonight. East side's field's right here. It's 22, 25. I think it's perfect for a bunch of people to get together and have races weekly. It's not too crowded. You get to know each other. You just learn how to race around each other a lot easier than if there's like 50, 60 people. It's fun to see 50, 60 people, I'll tell you that. We had on Tuesday night, Core Xfinity Series. They ran at Watkins Glen, and they had 45 drivers on the track. if you're looking for more racing throughout the week and you're a driver, you can always hook up with any of the leagues that CRN covers. Me and Carl cover 6 of the 7 races. And then we have a few new broadcasters that have decided to join us, and they are covering the Core GT series on Thursday nights. Pretty much the same time me and Carl are covering another league at the same time, and they are in the Legacy ARCA cars. Well, for the remainder of the season. Shake and bake with Connor. Go Tippy. Let's go. Back to green. Green flag is in the air. Foot is on the skinny pedal on the right. Dylan Jacobs back out to the lead with Matthew Hick back there in heat number 2. Tiffany Ellis in 3rd. Kyle Emerson looking to the low side of Tiffany. The ball's in behind. Go back here on Rob Millen. See how he's doing back there in P number 5 as he's got a swarm behind him looking to take that spot away. Too wide for Cody and Dylan as they exit turn number 4 down the front stretch, heading down to 1. Let me pull up that track map so you guys can see the colorful Skittles I can see. They're down on the back stretch right now. Coming out of turn number 2 can be a little tricky. As the tires wear down, you tend to push out just a little bit, but nothing's more tricky than turn number 4 here at Charlotte. A lot of people make mistakes there. Not too bad on newer tires. When the tires start wearing down, you know, the car wants to tend to kind of go out to the outside. So you'll see a lot of drivers not right up close to the wall, but the high line can work here. I have seen it work. You can see the multiple lanes being used up here around Tiffany Ellis. They fall back to now heat number 4. Man on a mission right now. We're going to go ahead and go with Cody and Will. Number 12 moving forward. Get things done here tonight so far. Up to P number 9. Maybe not the qualifying effort that he wanted got done, but he's, you know, rip roaring ready here. Moving forward. Plenty of racing to go in order to find that number 12. Maybe in the lead here tonight. If Dylan has anything to say with it, I think he wants to lead all 150 laps. I mean, who wouldn't? That'd probably be, you know, I've never been that fast in order to lead, you know, a whole race from start to finish. I've got a few wins. Maybe I was just lucky that day. You know, sun shines on the backside every now and then. Yeah, I don't know. My first win was Bristol, right? like, yeah, just time and time again. You know, like I think about, you know, started iRacing. It's been over 4 years now. It's probably closing in on 5. And you know, like this is where I started. I mean, this is one of the tracks I spent a lot of time on. I never got a win here. But I did get my first win at Bristol, and I hate short tracks. Like I get on a short track and I'm just like, nah. I'm getting dizzy. And I think maybe it's from, I joined this developmental series, and they used to run these weird cars on these very short tracks because they were free. And it was like driving in a toilet bowl. I'd get so dizzy. Yeah, it's probably. They don't want me out there. Like, just put them in the booth. I used to be an angry little feller. I'm tame now. Getting there. Yeah, I mean, you still got to pay it. I mean, obviously the tires are going to wear down. The biggest mover right now is Joe Francis in the 50. And now up there in P number 6. Front few drivers starting to kind of check out Dylan Jacobs kind of doing his thing. Just nice and easy here. You don't need to draft here. You can walk away. As you can see a 5 doing so right now. Kyle Emerson still in P number 2. Fell back a little bit early on, but as we took his position there, as his starting position. Matthew Hake back there in P number 3. Ron is up 2 spots. TJ Hanley's up 6. Joe Francis up 12. So a lot of drivers moving around here early as Joe was able to sneak by and get to the podium on that sneak through that wreck last week. It was kind of fun to watch. Yeah, he was involved in that. Yeah, he got involved early on. It was the first caution, so just kind of broke loose. We had 1 caution while you were gone, so pretty exciting at the beginning of the part of the race, but he just kind of went sideways right down the front stretch. Some people went around him down through the grass to kind of go around him and ended up got rear-ended, he got T-boned, so the 7's starting off a little rough, but he has a lot of work and a lot of time to bounce back. And that's what we got here tonight. We're at 24 laps in of 150. It's about 30 seconds a lap, so, you know, got about 130 some laps to go. And, yeah, so you got to get yourself a beverage, a popcorn, and you got about an hour. Yeah. Good. I'm not quite. Yeah, I mean, I'll go ahead and I'll bring up the oops. Put the pit lap. You can see some drivers were already in. You can see those drivers that came in at lap number 6 are starting to work their way towards the front, and then the ones that were already in here at lap 26. So already getting a mix up of pit strategy, Carl, and with the window being right around 26, 27 laps, I mean, you still got Dylan Jacobs out there getting it done in the lead. Trying to keep it down, but he's going to come down on the apron, getting ready to bring that 5 into pit lane, hopefully as much speed as he can carry there. They usually go towards the outside to kind of give themselves room and carry that speed there, but 5 doing a great job leading this race from the start so far. Only 1 caution, 29 laps in the books. You got green flag pit stops working in action here, and you know, we talked a little bit about, if you were at in our last broadcast, about competition, and when people are so close on track, where a race can be won. And obviously it's the pits, you know, pit entries, pit stops, and decisions. Oh no! Oh no. What the hell? Wow. Look. I'm gonna play this in real. This is real speed right here. Is there a? Is there a? Is there a? Like a? Uh-oh. Let me get it. I mean, the field has been flipped on its head, basically. I mean, all the numbers on top. Here, I'll show you. If I click on game, you can see all the top, all the one people on top are all green from all the positions they made, and everybody's red. So the field just flipped, and that just goes from cautions and pit stops. And yeah, I don't know what that was. I really can't blame the caution on Tiffany Ellis at all. Like I said, the car just like bounced and shot around. So interesting there. I'm sure she'll be a little gun shy next time exiting the pits, and probably maybe letting other people know. I mean, sometimes like there's a spot in the track, Carl, that just acts weird. You know, we go back to some of the races that we've done, and we've done races like a lot of road races, obviously, and ovals, but road races in the rain. That paint on the road is like ice. And we were at Suzuka, and coming down to, or it was either Suzuka or Fuji, one of the two, or Monza, one of the ones where they got paint coming out of the pit lane, right down the corner. Yeah, as soon as you'd hit that paint, just touch the brakes, the car would just whip right around like it was like you were on ice. So it was amazing. I don't know if it's like that in real life. I mean, I can imagine, I guess, but it was very. Oh, okay. Somebody had a gray car. We need a sponsor. I mean, it's always fun to be out front, Carl. You know, some like I said, the sun shines on the shady parts of your body every now and then. So, you know, they get out here, they're having fun, and you know, you couldn't have guessed that. You know, you would never. I mean, we've seen Tiffany run many races. You know, not only here but you know, in other leagues. So it's just like it's not something that you'd expect, and then to see the car just kind of it reminds me of the days of the 87s getting shot off the wall, like an explosion went off and go flying across the track. There's nothing. No, not well at all. Tiffany Ellis trying to make her way through the field, and we got a wreck here. Yeah, and just to kind of give, who was it? Somebody asked what the L meant. Emma, the L on the tower, that is the lap that they pit on. So, you know, I think that I missed your comment. You can see here the 16 already going around. We'll go ahead and back it up here and just to kind of see what happened. It looks like the 16 came up into the 12. So 16 causing that on his own. Getting there in front of the 12. The 12 just kind of lets up as easy as they can. Everybody tries to avoid those two. And does a pretty good job. So, unfortunately, they get involved here on another accident. Another caution will fly, but only 2 cars involved. They should be able to bring those 2 down and get repairs done here. As we still have plenty of racing, Carl. We're at lap 37 of 150. So still plenty more racing to go. Again, shout out to everybody out there. Buckshot, Z Crusher, Emma, Kathy, Black Darth, Baez. Yeah, anything else? You guys got questions? Shoot them away. We'll do our best to kind of keep glancing at chat as we're chattering away here. Cover the race here, but right now, up 21 spots, Carl. The number 54 of Kent Weiss, followed by William Connor, teammates there in the pen is blue car. So the yeah, I was like, who's that on the car? I was like, whose face is on the car? And then I did a zoom in. Yeah. Okay. Right? Back here at the start, probably. Oh, not even his fault. Oh, net code right there. Yep, there he is. Yeah, I mean, one person doesn't mind the cautions, and that's Dylan Large. I mean, he was in Lucky Dog, you're 2 laps down, so you know, put the thing in, allow that number 95 to get around a couple times, get back on the lead lap. Yeah, they got a couple. Obviously, the fast repairs are nice. You know, obviously mistakes happen. Heavy racing, it allows the drivers to kind of maybe attempt a move that maybe they normally wouldn't, but you're gonna see a lot of people taking to pit road here, taking advantage. This is gonna continue to mix up the pot car. I think pit strategy for the field right now is just a big old car shuffle. Oh yeah. I mean, look at the front row. All I need is a glass and a bowl of milk. I mean, I got some cereal and some cookies. I'm hungry. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't either. I try to get away. Run! Oh, purple. It's stuck. He's trying to shake it up. It's gonna explode. We'll follow a hake around here as he's trying to push it, you know. And maybe it's just netcode smoke or something. But we're gonna take an overhead view here and just see how close he's really getting. He's touching it. Is that a grip code? A grip code, bang, entry at 2, exit of 4, and then hit the brakes really fast. Yeah, the 50. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's trying to get his pit crew to do all the work and just hopefully, you know, catch, you know, be able to catch a caution here. And obviously, right now, Large is 1 lap down. So as long as if the leader goes by Brewer, he'd still be Lucky Dog. But as soon as the leader goes by Large, and then Large, I think Large ends up winning, right? I don't know. Yeah. No. Yeah. Yeah, no, time flies when you're having fun anyways, so we're just out here to have a good time, put on a good show for everybody, you know, answer if you got any questions, like I said, feel free to ask. You know, we're just a couple normal Joes that like to do this on the side and, you know, share the racing that, you know, friends, family, co-workers, you know, or either other league mates may be interested in seeing what the races are all about here. At Pit Limit, so it's just definitely just a lot of fun here. So far, just a lot of fun trying to get to know everybody as the numbers keep growing, Carl. So like the names are I'm pretty, like, when I see them, I'm like, oh, I've seen that name before. Might not be able to say it, but I can definitely see. I've definitely seen it. English is not my first language. Oh, I can show you that. Oh. Yeah, I mean, it works both ways. Obviously, the drivers usually prefer a colder track, and it usually equates to their tires will last longer before they start wanting to push out to the wall every single lap. Most drivers don't mind a loose race car as long as it's controllable, but when the car gets tight and doesn't want to turn, the only way to combat that is, obviously you have to back up your corner, and you end up start trail braking. And these cars, I think even the drivers will even think about downshifting, just depending on how fast they're going and how it feels coming out of the corner. So, yeah, they drivers try everything, but with the cooler tires, it definitely helps keep the tires under control and allows the car to have grip at faster speeds. So, usually cooler tracks, faster lap times for the most part. And Carl was talking about as far as like the cool temperature and like tire wear. As a tire, like there's a difference between a 70-degree track and a 100-degree track, and it's usually probably about a second and a half per lap. So it's just amazing. I know on the road races it really kind of matters. Something that people don't think about very much, the humidity. The humidity in the air matters, the way these cars get power and all that fun stuff. So a lot of things I think some people don't realize that, like I was doing 29-second laps yesterday. How come I can only do 30? Well, what was the weather? What was the track state? What was the wind? all kinds of things.
Cody Brewer, Anthony Engelhard into the pits as well. Looks like the 17 of Cody Handler not going to move his way into the pits. And the pits road, it can come up here pretty quickly off of turn number 4. So you see the drivers getting down off the track through 3 and 4 to make sure they get down there. But it looks like Anthony Emerson not exactly having a good pit entry there in the 42 and still trying to get that thing turned the right way. Not sure if it'll be an unsafe entry and have a pit road penalty, as it is worth mentioning at last pit stop for Ron Millam on lap number 36. He did have a pit road penalty, but he finds himself right now in the top 5 but pit road is going to start getting busy here pretty soon for some of these drivers that have stayed out there for a little bit. But we got a lot of drivers out there like TJ Hanley, last pit on lap number 40, so he's got plenty of time before he has to come in.
Yeah, he's plenty of time he needs to come in. Obviously, it's lap number 63 now. We'll go ahead and I'll bring up the pit lap for when those drivers were last in, so you can kind of see what they're at. The last time they came in was right around them that 27 laps under green. And just so you know, Carl, the viewers out there didn't hear you for about the past 30 laps because yeah, you were over. You were late.
Awesome.
But anyways, Carl's here, and he's. I'm not talking to myself. Maybe it sounds like I was talking to myself, but there's actually a conversation on the other side.
Yeah, I was just talking to Jimmy, just hanging out here, not doing anything. But
I didn't notice the difference. They did.
Apparently, I was gonna say maybe the fans didn't either. So, thank you, Emma, for actually wanting to hear me out there and making Jimmy turn me up here a little bit. But I promise it was me that was looking out for you as well, to getting the dashboard up there to see what kind of speeds they're doing out there. So. Yeah, now it's officially a two-man booth, and we're here on lap number 66. So not even halfway through this race yet, but under our second round of green flag pit stops here, as we have Emerson, O'Connor, Luno, and actually both O'Connors now into the pit lane. But TJ Hanley still out there, and I believe I think we've seen the pit cycle be around 27 laps or so on the first one. Granted, there was a little bit of caution laps involved in the first run as well, but should see Hanley and the rest of these drivers here in the top four right now is TJ Hanley, Joe Francis, Richard Covington, Kyle Emerson, all pit on lap number 40. So maybe in these next couple laps, we'll see them come down the pit road as well.
You guys can hear Carl right now, right?
Check for everybody out there.
Well, yeah, I can hear you. Emma said, got it. And then just, then Barry said, I don't hear Carl. So maybe I don't know, Barry. Maybe you don't want to hear Carl anymore.
Yeah, but put the other headphone in there. I know you've heard me all your life, or all my life. But
yeah, Emma says you can hear.
Okay, all right. Emma can hear me. Barry, you got to figure it out.
Dark, black. Can hear you too. We're good.
All right, well, our top four have now left the track, and they're on pit road for their pit cycle here, and we'll see who's going to shuffle out as the leader here. Is Dylan Jacobs coming in on lap number 59, a lot earlier than everyone else, and maybe pulling a bit of a short pit here. Definitely on a different pit cycle, as the 5 now coming around the front stretch and should cycle out as the leader, but 27 and 50 out on the access road, but you see right there on the track, the 5 gonna go around and retake the lead. Now the question is this gonna be enough here? Because Dylan Jacobs is gonna have the lead by about a second and a half, almost 2 seconds over Hanley, but he's got about 10 lap older tires than Hanley, so we'll see if the 27 can reel him in here and kind of see who's gonna get this thing done here tonight.
I mean, this here is kind of a test, what and how 10 laps and tires is going to react to each other here. You got that 2-second gap. Will it close? Or how long before it closes? But yeah, Dylan Jacobs are now out front over TJ Hanley, Joe Francis there in P number 3. Dylan Emerson in 4th with Josh Duncan in 5th. Thomas O'Connor, Cody Handler, Ron Millen, Charlie Stafford, Richard Covington, Matthew Hake, Tiffany Ellis, Kyle Emerson, Cody Brewer, Kent Bice, Alec Leno, William O'Connor, Kelly Akron for your top 18 all on the lead lap, and then Anthony Emerson, Dylan Large, Anthony Engelhard, and Tyler Welch. For your 22 drivers here tonight at Charlotte. We're at 70 laps, Carl. We're about that coming up on that halfway mark here. Underneath the lights fully. The paints are shining bright here. I think you said something about paint wars or color wars here tonight.
Yeah, color wars here tonight for the drivers. So, a lot of the designs done by THC Designs out there from TJ Hanley, a lot of cool looking paint schemes out here weekly, and they kind of have something different every week here in pit road speed limit racing. As the Michigan race coming up in a few weeks is going to be video game theme, so I'm certainly looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to see if I'm sure we'll have a lot of newer games out there, like the new Battlefield game I know just came out. So I'm sure we'll have a few of those, but I want to see some old ones. I want to see some older school ones. I mean, I'm not saying like Pac-Man or anything like that, but a good Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle game, or an original Mortal Kombat game, or something like that. I want to see some good video game schemes here, as we got some battling, and not sure what exactly is going on here, but it's not going to work out here for the 13. Is going to slide up to the top, the 60, going to make the pass here on the front stretch. I'm not sure what was going on there, but Kyle Emerson going to make it past Matthew Hake here. But later on in the season at the Roval, we're going to have a Star Wars theme. At Dover, we're going to have remembering 9/11 and all those who lost their lives, red, white, and blue military and first responder paint schemes. And then at Worldwide Technology is going to be scary movie theme. So, Jimmy, I know you're going to be looking forward to that one.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be 1 week that I am not going to be here, so hopefully one of our fellow booth jockeys or whoever wants to come over here and visit and help Carl out. I'm actually taking my wife and my family over to Halloween Horror Nights over there in Orlando, Florida. So I'm hoping for great weather that week because I'll be over there for the whole week. And I won't be here for the race, but I'll be thinking about everybody. If I'm at the Halloween Horror Nights, I definitely won't be in my room being able to watch any of the shows, so I'll have to go back and watch it when I wake up in the morning. But yeah, it's a lot of fun out here right now. Right now, TJ Hanley out front in the number 27. What happened here? What happened to
Dylan Jacobs back there in third because he pulled that short pit that got him the lead, but those older tires are really playing a big part here because he's running in the mid-30s right now, with the leaders still in the 29s with TJ Hanley and Joe Francis. Joe Francis looking to go back-to-back after sneaking out a win at Talladega. He was just happy to get a win there at Talladega, right. But TJ Hanley is your leader, looking to try and grab his third win on the season, but our points leader is neither of them. It is the winner of the first race of the season at Daytona, and that is Dylan Emerson, as he comes in as the points leader by 7 points over Jared Duan, who doesn't look like is in the field here tonight. Dylan Jacobs, third place in the points. We've seen him up there quite a bit here tonight. Thomas O'Connor, Matthew Hake for your top 5 in the points. Kyle Emerson, Tiffany Ellis, Bruce Spencer, Cody Handler, and Wes Pauley for the top 10 entering tonight's race. TJ Hanley has got a couple wins, but is tied for 11th place in the points, so he would much like a win here tonight to try and move himself up into the top 10 and make a late threat for the points title in this season, as we still got plenty of racing left to go, as we mentioned, all the the theme nights that are coming up here, but there's a lot of other tracks still involved. So I mean, tonight we have Charlotte, then we got Nashville, Bristol, Michigan, Dover, Iowa, and the Charlotte Roval, and then we got Richmond, Wild West. I'm forgetting the name of it now all of a sudden. I threw myself off. Worldwide Technology, also known as Gateway, and then Phoenix for the rest of the season, as we'll have a little bit shorter races for the rest of the season, except for the season finale. They wanted a longer race here tonight. This is kind of like the midway point of the season here at Charlotte. And then Phoenix is going to be the same thing. It'll be a longer race for the season finale, as this has been a pretty good one here. We're past halfway. Jimmy, I think it's about time, since we're on a nice little green flag run here, to crank these cars up and give everyone out there in Sierra Nation a little love to hear it.
I'm turning me off, turning the cars up, and giving you one.
And I promise he will bring me back when we come back. I promise.
All right. Some love to hear it. We'll see if we can find out about them lap points. Pipes and sounds coming to an end as we have a caution here on lap number 89. Anthony Engelhard here. Go back to see what happened. Oh.
And it looks like he dunked himself there on the backstretch, and this wasn't the scary part for the 37, as looks like he was he trying to come out of the pits, or he was trying, what exactly was going on there? Not sure what happened to 37, but when he came back up on the track, that was the scary part. He did get a little piece right there, and looks like just drifted down the track trying to get off the track, but right there, 2 or 3 close moments for the 37 as he would have got completely destroyed on that one.
Yeah, totally. Anyhow, he brings that 37 back down on the pits here. We're on lap 91 of 150. Another caution down in play. Still, say 26, 27 laps, Carl. You know, our driver's starting to think, if I come in now, can I make it with one more stop?
Well, I think regardless, I mean, you're coming in now because it's a good amount that you still have to go. You come in here and get some fresh tires, and it's one thing, I don't believe these drivers have a tire limit. Here, I'll have to take a look and see if they have a tire limit here tonight. Again, we mentioned that the fast repair limit here tonight is 3, but we'll see if there's any kind of a tire limit for amount of tires still in the pits. But yeah, I mean, I think it's maybe starting to think about it in the realm of possibilities, but it's still going to be, I think, too far from here. I mean, you're looking at 59, 60 laps to go. I mean, you'd have to stretch out 2 runs of 30 laps here, even if you come in here again, top off on fuel. If you get 2-3 more cautions, maybe you can think about it, but if you're getting 2-3 more cautions, you're going to be coming in again anyway. It's going to throw that strategy off. So I think it's maybe just a little bit too early yet. Once we get to lap 100, then I think it's, you know, it's in the possibility of one more stop to the end here. But I mean, for the 28, he may need to not just change tires, he may need to change shorts on that last one right there, as that was extremely close to T-boning Engelhard very hard, and could have taken them both out of the race, and maybe not even been able to limp back to pit road, maybe had to tow back to pit road to get one of those fast repairs. We're going to get this thing back underway, as may have a delayed green again, because we have quite a few cars getting the wave around here. So we'll see if the caution is going to get extended here, as going into turn number 3 when the pace car is exiting 2. If not, they're going to be at full speed when they catch back up to the field here, but it should be good to go, as TJ Hanley is your race leader, going to be the one that controls this restart here. Joe Francis looking for back-to-back wins. Richard Covington, Thomas O'Connor, Ron Millam for your top 10, or top 5. Kyle Emerson, Charlie Stafford, Matthew Hake, Dylan Emerson, and Josh Duncan for your top 10. Dylan Jacobs all the way down in 11th place right now, as he looks like he decided to not come into the pits on lap number 90 when everybody was coming in here. But I don't know what's going on here. I don't know why the 5 is back there, unless he, that's why, because he pit on lap number 84, so he already made his pit stop. And again, the short pit not exactly working out for the 5, so this is twice in a row now that the 5 is going to have to make his way through the field. But the field coming back to the green. We are back to race against the 27 of TJ Hanley back on that loud pedal.
Yeah, TJ getting out there, good start. Joe Francis finds himself in P number 2, so in a good spot there as well. Richard Covington in P number 3, and a lot of these drivers, I'm just going to see a lot, I'll switch it back here, the gains and losses here. Obviously the green being gains, positions gained, reds being positions lost. You know, a lot of these drivers, you know, they're still having fun. It's a good race. It's been a great race. We're on lap 93 of 150. It's a long one, so mistakes can happen and you can recover. And obviously, as the time goes by, that time's going to be lower and lower to make up spots. So kind of got to be careful here and how you're trying to finish out your race. You know, hopefully you got a fast repair for maybe later in the race. You know, always try to, if you can take fast repairs home with you, if you got multiple, Carl, that's a good thing. It just means you were able to avoid everything and you didn't have to use that mulligan. But it's been a pretty decent one here. Some net code involved tonight with a few of the incidents. And a lot of drivers starting towards the rear, now up front. So right now you got TJ Hanley up 10 spots. Joe Francis up 16, Covington's up 7, O'Connor's up 8. And then you have a few back mid-pack that are still up quite a bunch there. William O'Connor is up 7 spots in 12th, and Vice is up 9 spots in P13. So obviously some drivers not having the time that they want to have tonight. Tiffany Ellis back in P17. And then you got Large down in P number 20, down 13 spots. So so some drivers not having luck here tonight at Charlotte. Some having some pretty decent luck, though.
Well, I gotta say that the driver of the 13, Matthew Hake, is not having luck. He's been trying now for quite some time. We're not sure what some of these drivers do in their profession and real life, but I would say that the 13 it's got to be in construction or survey or engineer, because he's doing his best to try and widen the exit of turn 4. He's been involved with the exit of turn 4 wall so many times here tonight. He is determined to widen this track on the exit, but it's not paying out for him here so far. And I mean, gotta give it to him. He's still up there in the top 10 and trying to run a good race. But not working out here so far for him. I believe we have, and just confirming here the question earlier, at least in my mind, how many sets of tires they have. They have unlimited tires in the pits. I know they talked about potentially reducing them for the shorter race that they have coming up here to kind of mix it up here a little bit. But I think they did settle on unlimited tires for this race and for the rest of the season as well. But it's starting to get a little bit cooler here as the night is setting in. It's down to 73 degrees now for the track temperature, and getting close to 2/3 distance as well. Getting close to the first 100 laps in the books, as it is still TJ Hanley out front, Francis in second, O'Connor, Millam, and Covington for your top 5. Then you got Emerson, Hake, Emerson, Duncan, and Stafford for your top 10. I want to thank everybody for tuning in here tonight. If you haven't done so yet, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, get you in touch with everything SCRN has to offer, as we got plenty of racing all throughout the week from Sunday through Thursday. At this point, we need a couple days to relax and recoup. That's why we have Friday and Saturday off, and sometimes even Saturday is. Sometimes Saturdays even taken up when we have those.
I'm usually if I'm not on YouTube, I'm off work. I'm over on Twitch somewhere. You can just look up Jimmy, and I'm over there playing some first-person shooter. I try to step away from the racing just a little bit so I don't get burnt out, because we are in the booth 6 times within 5 days, and for different leagues. Obviously, we got a couple double headers on Wednesday nights, double header on Thursday nights, but me and Carl only have one on Thursday night, where our other commentators are in the booth with the Accord GT series. So a lot of racing going on here at CRN. It was just a thought when we first started it. We just didn't want to. We were trying to find somebody that was just responsible for showing up every week, and that just was a problem. So you can't find somebody to do it right, you just do it yourself.
Yeah, unfortunately, in the iRacing broadcasting community, it's you get what you pay for, and especially with the cheaper ones. To answer your question there, Emma, Bice is definitely in 13th, but he's behind the 13. He is 1 lap down. That's why he's back there in 13th currently. Right now, he's the first car 1 lap down and looking to stay in that lucky dog spot. But you see him right now in front of the 5 of Jacobs. So hoping that a caution comes out, he can get back on the lead lap. As right now, we only got 12 cars on the lead lap, with O'Connor being the last one on that lead lap. But right now, the 54 holding that lucky dog spot by I think a decent amount. The last time I checked, as Bice is up about a second and a half on Luno, who is the second one 1 lap down. But the 12 of Cody Brewer trying to get up here in the mix. Brewer has not exactly had a fun race here in that 12, but right now currently behind the 16, needs to get past the 16 and the 54 of Bice to get into that lucky dog spot and try and get himself back on that lead lap. But we are past the 100 lap mark now. We are down to 45 laps to go next time we hit the line. TJ Hanley in the lead, Francis, Millam, O'Connor, and Emerson for your top 5. I want to thank our sponsors here for the series as well, with TDM Motorsports and I think kind of unofficially THD Designs for all the paints that TJ's putting out here for all the drivers. Certainly check him out if you are an iRacer looking for a design, and that is not going to end well for a lot of the field. This is the big one here at Charlotte. Quite a few cars getting involved. The 7, I'm not sure how he's still driving that thing. That thing got completely destroyed by the pit road barrels, and he's seen it happen towards the back. Looked like it was 3 wide racing between the 7, the 5, and the 13. Big impacts.
Trying to see what kind of happened here. Oh, the 5 got a shot from the 7. I was wondering what happened. And the 13
was slow. Looking to try and go to the outside of turn number 4 again, and still not paying off for him.
No, I mean, the 13's used to trying to hold up the wall. Oh, here comes Tiffany. Gives the 7 a shot. That's going to send him down. Oh, here it comes. Boom! Right into the water barrels. And then, by the 16. 54 getting involved here. No lucky dog for them. That'll be a shame. The 54 is trying to hold on to that spot. Wow.
Yeah, and a lot of the cars that were looking to try and get that lucky dog, the 54, 16, neither of them getting the lucky dog on this one is going to bring out another caution here. And we are now definitely officially in the realm of getting home and one more pit stop after this one. So we'll see everybody come down into pit road for this pit stop, and then we'll have one more to go. But it looks like Hake and Duncan.
Yeah, the orange dot for the drivers that are in the pits, that is what's called a meatball flag. It means their car needs required repairs before it goes out on track, and they can range anywhere from 15 seconds to 15 minutes or greater, depending on the damage. And I think this pit stop is going to mix things up again, Carl.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, TJ Hanley going to get back out there. Joe Francis out there in second place, but now we got Charlie Stafford up into the top 3. Ron Millam still up there. Thomas O'Connor, Kyle Emerson, Dylan Emerson, Richard Covington, and Matthew Hake are going to be in the top 9. Still waiting to see who's going to come out there in 10th. Cody Handler is currently showing in 10th, but I think William O'Connor going to end up getting into that spot. Actually, no, he's still a lap down. So O'Connor now is going to be in the lucky dog position, but we're down to 10 cars in on the lead lap right now. So this is, I don't know, it's kind of interesting because we're having plenty of cautions out here. I'm guessing some of these drivers are now through more than their 3 fast repairs, so they're having to repair these cars as much as possible just to get back out there and finish this thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's getting down, obviously it's in the bottom third of the race. Still got 42 laps here remaining at Charlotte, and that's still a fair amount of time out here. It's a good 20 minutes at least. So they got time to make moves, but you still gotta be patient. You gotta choose your passes and stuff wisely. That's just the kind of way it goes at any race. You're out there. You want to race hard. You want to race clean, and you gotta exercise some patience with some moves. And sometimes a late move doesn't always work. A lot of times here, and you've seen a lot. That last incident was just close racing. I think a slower car coming up, and it starts compounding when you get around a lot of other different drivers. But right now you got TJ Hanley out front over Joe Francis. Charlie Stafford is in third. Ron Middleman in fourth, and Thomas O'Connor and number 18 and for your top 5. Then you have Kyle Emerson, Dylan Emerson, Richard Covington, Matthew Hake, and Cody Handler all in the lead lap. So that's 10 cars on the lead lap. Then it goes to William O'Connor, Dylan Jacobs, and Alec Lueno. They are all, and Bice, and the 54 Kent Bice are all 1 lap down. But we're going to get up back under green here. Led off there by TJ Hanley on that skinny pedal there on the left, or on the right hand side, as he works down into turn number 1 with Joe Francis maybe trying to think about pushing a little bit harder as laps or something like that.
And Matthew Hake going 3 wide there on the restart and the back, but everything's settling down at least 2 wide now as cautions starting to breathe. Cautions here a little bit as a bit of a shot there from the 21. They're all going to survive out of the corner this time, but I mean, a lot of times we've seen this where it gets a little bit later in the race and the cautions start building up because these drivers realize that, you know, I don't have time to have a long run to make my way through the field. I need to make these passes quick because the next caution is probably going to come out very soon, and unfortunately they're sometimes the cause of the caution because you're just getting a little bit too aggressive on these restarts. But hopefully this one stretches out here a little bit. We can get some good green flag racing here. Maybe get one more green flag pit stop to end this thing. Right now, Handley, Francis, Stafford, Millam, and Emerson for your top 5. That being Dylan Emerson, and then Kyle Emerson, Matthew Hake, Thomas O'Connor, Richard Covington, and Cody Handler for your top 10. And those cars are the ones on the lead lap. You're seeing the 5 there of Dylan Jacobs. First car, 1 lap down. Maybe trying to get out here and get one of his laps back the hard way as, speaking of hard way, Grimace took a shot on the exit of turn 4.
Yeah, and the 5 just pawed them. They're both up there, grazed the wall, and like I said, sometimes iRacing will throw the glitch like where it looks like they hit harder than what they did. It's just a puff of smoke. But sometimes when the car wrinkles up, that's when you know they hit way too hard, and you know they can find themselves with a black flag. And you see, I think Ward just got a black flag for something. Quite clear up.
Yeah, not sure what the 95. He definitely has a black flag, but maybe he just got cleared here. So he is now back good to go here. But out front, not a big lead here. TJ Hanley and Joe Francis, along with Charlie Stafford, stretching out the lead here a little bit by 1 second over the rest of the field, with Ron Millam leading that second little pack here. So about a 3-car breakaway at the front. Again, Hanley looking for his 3rd win on the season and looking to move himself up into the top 10 in the points as well. I'm looking to just, I'm sure, have a couple good finishes strung together in a row to get himself up into the mix for the point standings. Looks like the field finally starting to string out here a little bit of single file action here on lap number 115. And again, hopefully the field can do a little bit of this for quite some time here. The next caution, or the next round of pit stops, should be happening around the 130, 135 mark, and it should be the last pit stops of the race. So obviously, if we get a caution before that, it could get real interesting because they'll still be outside the window. Have to pit one more time. But right now, 27 leading the way here. Joe Francis, again, looking to go back-to-back after winning last week at Talladega, just hanging real close to him right now.
Yeah, just hanging on. I mean, just he seems to have a fairly decent fast car, and when we talked to him last week, it was just trying to keep a clean car for the majority of the race. Obviously, that's a good mindset to have. I mean, this is a fairly long race. 150 laps here at Charlotte. Obviously, the time has gone by fairly quickly. But we'll get to eventually talk to a few drivers up here at the end. But he's kept it clean, kept staying out of trouble, just riding around there in second place. And as the season winds down, I mean, you have to finish races well. And we have series where we have points leaders. They haven't even seen the winner's podiums, on the top stack. So it's just all about consistency to win an overall championship. And I know everybody loves to win a race. If you're trying to win a championship, you just need to be super, super consistent with as high possible race, finishing as high as possible.
Yeah, you need to kind of stop the bleeding on those bad days and try and turn that 15th place where you're frustrated, you're not going to win, into maybe a 12th. And that could be enough to keep you where you need to be in the points, or be happy with a top 10 on a day where you just don't have it. You don't have the feel for the car. Things didn't go your way, whatever the case is. But if you can sneak out a top 10 on those bad days, sometimes that top 10 may be enough to get you to where you need to be at the end of the season. It's a marathon. It's not just a sprint here. These races here are individual little sprints, but you got to think about the marathon at the end of the night, and where you put yourself, and try and finish on the best foot every night, and do whatever you can. It could just be one position. You could have just had a horrible race and you're back there, buried in the pack, 5-6 laps down, no shot in this thing, but somebody else wrecked out of the race. You stick it out, and all of a sudden, instead of finishing in 19th, you're finishing in the 18th. It could be enough just right there, just that little bit of points at the end of the season that gets it done here for you. So quitting out, no matter how rough a race is never what I recommend, and I'm sure Jimmy feels the same way. You figure out a way to get back out there, even if you're 10, 15, 20 laps down. If there's any chance that you can pick up another position, or even just get a little bit of extra experience on the track, stick there and get out there.
Yeah, it's hard to get on a track and then have issues, especially if you're causing them to yourself. If you're out there smacking the wall every other lap, and you gotta start thinking like, all right, well, I'm not taking damage, but I'm not, I'm still okay. Car feels fine, but eventually you're gonna hit that wall too hard. Especially if it's newer tires. If you're early on in a run and you're already smacking the tires like 5 laps in, then you probably need to back it off just a little bit. Kind of learn to drive to your ability and run your race. The finishes and the wins can come to you when the more laps you get, the more consistent you get. Just a lot of time out there. There's a lot of things to learn. It's a lot more than pressing the gas and turning left.
Well, and that's kind of where we see more often than not, unfortunately, drivers think that, okay, well, I can't drive here tonight. I'm hitting the wall so many times, and maybe I brought out a caution or two, and I'm horrible out there. Those are the nights where you got to get back out there. You got to stick it out, because you need to figure it out. Or the next time you come to this track, you're going to be the exact same way. You're not going to get any better by quitting. You're not getting any better by just stopping and, okay, well, I don't like this track. I'll figure it out next week. Or, you have some drivers that decide not even to show up. They put in a couple practice laps and, well, I'm not going to do good at this track, and I'm just going to be a weapon out there. Okay, well, that's fine. You can still get out there and race. And if, the field is coming up on you, come into the pits. Let them go by. Or drop down in the apron. Let them go by. And then get back out there, try and follow them, from the back of the pack for a couple laps and see what they're doing. Maybe you can figure out what you're doing wrong and pick up a few things. You're not going to get any better by sitting on the sidelines.
Oh, no. I wish. You know how good I'd be right now?
You slept to a championship. I'll bring it up again. Slept your way to a championship, so you're good on the sidelines as well.
But I'm on the sidelines 6 times a week right now, Carl. And I watch it, every single day, and multiple series, multiple tracks, multiple cars. It's just, heck, I should be better than Max Verstappen.
Easy now, easy. We have clicked over, and you see it up there on the scroller there as we are down inside the last 25 laps to go. 24 right now, as TJ Hanley still leading the way. Everyone now in that pit window, and you see it looks like the 13 of Hake going to be the first taker into the pits, bringing that 13 in there. He slaps some extra tape on that right-hand side before he comes back out there to try and give that wall a go 1 or 2 more times. Try and push that thing out a little bit further, as the 50 pushing the 27 right now, as they are close to each other, and they have broken away from the field. 2.7 seconds between the battle of Hanley and Francis back to 3rd place. Charlie Stafford right now, Ron Millam, Kyle Emerson for your top 5, Richard Covington, Thomas O'Connor, Cody Handler for your top 8, as Dylan Emerson down into the pits. Right now, Dylan Jacobs still in the lucky dog position in 10th place. So, still has a chance at a top 10, but he would love one caution here late, or maybe the pit cycle to just work out in his favor here to get himself back on that lead lap. But we'll see how everything shakes out here. When we've seen a couple cautions here around the pit cycle, and here we go, battle for the lead. The 50 of Joe Francis looks to the outside, not going to happen this time by, falls back in line behind Francis, behind Handley, and now looks to the inside, gets chopped off here a little bit, and going to force himself to the inside, but not going to happen. Some tight battling and some rubbing here on the backstretch. I don't think Francis was too happy with the move there from Handley through 1 and 2. Gave him a couple shots, almost turned him through the corner, and we're getting close to the final round of pit stops here for both of these drivers. 21 to go. It's going to be 20 at the line. Biggest lead of the race now, 0.6 of a second, as Handley is ahead of Francis, as we're waiting for quite a few cars to make their final pit stops. Looks like top 9 or top 7 right now. Actually, top 8 have yet to make a final pit stop, with Dylan Jacobs, I'm sure, trying to stay out there as long as he can. Every time he's come in for a short pit, he's kind of gotten screwed here tonight, to put it blandly. He had the lead, came in with a short pit, the caution came out, he had to get the wave around, just get back on the lead lap, then he did it again, and he's been caught a lap down ever since. So I'm sure Dylan Jacobs would like, for once, a pit cycle to turn out his way, but the laps are ticking down here. We are down to 19 laps to go, and everyone out there, I'm sure they want to run this thing as far as possible, but not going to be able to run it too much further. Probably another 3, 4, 5 laps at most before they'll have to come in, as Handler now is going to leave from the top 10 and bring it into the pits. And there, your leader, TJ Handley, going to come in with the 27 as well. So Joe Francis going to try and pull the overcut here, run a little bit longer, hopefully get a good couple of laps in here, and then bring it into the pits.
Yeah, it's I don't know. The overcut doesn't seem to work very often. I know that. The undercut is usually the one that comes out a little bit better. They're down to 18 laps, Carl. He's got to be coming in right now. I've probably seen him coming, or
there it is. He is into the pits. A good entry there from the 50. Didn't see the entry for the 27, but does look like a good, solid entry from the 50. Ron Millam going to stay out there for another lap, as he is going to take over the lead in the 91, or at least one more lap here. We'll probably see him come in next time by. But we'll see where it shakes out between the 50 and the 27 right now. The 27 midway down the backstretch, entering turn number 3 right now. And it looks like the 50 is off and rolling, coming out of the pits. It's going to be close here. It looks like the 27 should be able to get him coming through the quad oval right now, as the 50 is in turn number 1 on the bottom. You'll see him on the bottom of the track here pretty soon, but it's going to be close on the backstretch here. And the 50, you see him right there, still very close. 27 is going to have the short pit play out his way. He's got the tires warmed up nicely. Now the 50 has got to latch on right about the same amount here, 0.6 of a second. So he's got the draft. Especially helps if the 27 is going to scrape the wall like that, as Millam now into pit lane is going to hand the lead back over here to these two, as Handley again looking for his 3rd win of the season. Francis looking to go back-to-back. Hake looks like he is going to, I believe he is, yeah, you think he is good to go. Yeah, he should be good to go to the end of this race. He is in 4th place right now. We'll see if he's able to get past Millam to move up into one of the podium positions. But we got what we wanted here. We got a green flag pit stop, and I think this time maybe the first one all race, we'll get through the entire pit cycle without any issues, any yellow flags we see, as long as Millam doesn't hit that goose that was down there earlier. Looks like he's going to get through that one.
Tiffany took care of that one.
we got the crew to shovel that thing back up.
Yeah. Tiffany, as a matter of fact, be back there in P number 18. Unfortunate, just bad luck here tonight for the 88 coming out, and just still is just weird to see the car just do pretty much a 180 like that. That sucks. There ain't nothing you can do, whether it was, whether she just got on the gas, whatever, but the car definitely, shouldn't have reacted like that. But the 50 tracking down to 27 here as we got 14 laps to go. Is TJ gonna just stay on that bumper, or is he gonna make his way back?
This is far from over now. The question is, does Joe want to try and get by quickly and try and run away, or is he going to wait and set up this pass towards the end of the race? 13 laps to go. And speaking of 13, 13 is not exactly out of it just yet. He's 6 seconds behind the leader right now, but we've seen the 50 and 27 get a little rough around the edges here a couple times. So, you know, the 13 may be able to sneak something out here as they work around lap car of the 12. And the 12 of Brewer certainly not having the night that he wanted to here tonight, and still blinking out here and there on the front stretch. But maybe going to hold up the 50 here a little bit, and it's not what you want to see if you're one of the leaders here. A blinking car on the inside of you, but he will be able to clear and set his sights here once again on the 27. See if he can reel him back in. Charlie Stafford, Dalen Emerson for your top 5. Thomas O'Connor, Ron Millum, Kyle Emerson. And Richard Covington, Cody Handler for your top 10 as we got 11 laps to go here in this race. And it's about time I start working on the poll here to see what everyone out there in CRN Nation thinks is going to get this thing done. It looks like it's filing out to a 2-car battle here, but you never know how this thing is going to end out with 10 laps to go here at the line.
Oh, there's plenty of time. I mean, now's the time. Now's kind of like go time here at Charlotte. So you want to make your way around the cars and then hold on to it. You know, probably closer to 5. But I would be looking now, looking at what way is available, and you can see TJ taking defensive lines, running the middle of the track, running the bottom, making Joe go to the high side, outside, and make it stick. And that's clean racing right there. That right there, the pass that Joe was able to make on the 27 to TJ, that's just the way it's supposed to be done. Obviously he blocked him, or not blocked, but he chose his line, and then Joe was given the other one if he would like to take it, like to try to get around him. So Joe went to the high side and made it work. It's hard to find that some places though.
It is in any kind of leagues, and I mean, you've seen it before the caution there. You've seen him kind of mix it up a little bit, and Francis maybe get a little frustrated from the driving from the 27 and give him a couple shots there. Luckily for both cars, the 27 wasn't turned in that situation, but a lot cleaner pass that time, and probably to the dislike of Matthew Hake, who again, for all he's been through, and as much as I've kind of made fun of him here tonight, the engineer out here has maybe moved turn 4 out just wide enough that he's going to try and sneak out a top 3 here tonight.
It's out to his liking now, so now
that's good. Now I can breathe again out of turn number 4.
Yeah, like I'm good. I moved it just enough tonight. Moved a couple pixels tonight. He did.
I want to thank everyone again out there for tuning in to the Pit Road Speed Limit Racing Series, as it's been a fun one out here tonight, coming down to the end. 7 laps to go here, and it seems to be just 2-driver battle here, but maybe even less than that. Joe Francis trying to stretch out here, trying to run away. 0.7 of a second lead right now over TJ Hanley. Matthew Hake is about 8 seconds, almost 9 seconds behind. So it's definitely at best a 2-car battle at the front. Stafford, Emerson, Millum, O'Connor, Covington, and Hanley, the last ones on the lead lap. Only 9 cars on the lead lap, and it may not stay 9 cars for too much longer, as the 17 not too far in front of the leaders right now, and could very well get caught up in these last 5 laps, as it's pretty clear track right now for the 50 and 27. But they do have a couple lap cars that could come into play with the 17 and the 42 before this thing is over. So Francis wants to try and gap as much as possible if there's any kind of issues here. I know Francis and Hanley both don't want to see a yellow flag. Maybe Hanley wants one more crack at the 50, but I think they're both content being exactly where they are right now to finish this thing out.
Back to Emma out there chatting up a storm, asking questions, asking why Bice was down 2 laps, but he didn't pit. Well, according to what I got, he was in on lap 132, so pit along with everybody else. So have been a few reasons with the green flag pit stop and going down another lap. It could have been speeding in the pits, bad entry, slid through his pit stall. Many things can hold you up in the pits that will make you, lose time. But yeah, definitely was in at lap 132. The leaders were in at lap 133, 132 as well. So just not having the night that they need. But Bice still sitting there in P11. It's not like a horrible finish, just obviously a couple of laps down. Jacob's the only one holding on to possibly a caution flag here in the last 3 laps. But Joe Francis leading the way here has checked out Carl about almost 2 seconds after 1.75 over TJ Hanley. I don't know what happened to that number 27 here late in the race. Matthew Hake making it back to P number 3. Like we were saying, Carl's been picking on him all night about making turn 4 a little wider, but it's found his way back to the front in the Coca-Cola number 13. The 28 of Charlie Stafford with a solid run, started 4th, and currently in 4th. Ron Millum up a spot from the start in P number 5 in the DHL car. Dylan Emerson in the Grimace car up 10 spots. Thomas O'Connor in 7th, up 5 spots. Richard Covington in 8th, and then you have Cody Handler and Dylan Jacobs for your top 10. But final lap, as a white flag flies here for the
checker 50. Flag is flying as the 50 is going to be your winner here tonight. Joe Francis back-to-back, so another driver getting a second win in the series as he goes back-to-back to do it here, holding off TJ Hanley, making the pass late here. Matthew Hake is going to come home in 3rd place. Charlie Stafford, Ron Millum for your top 5 as we finish this thing out. We'll get our top 3 drivers here in for their interviews, but heck of a run here as Francis started towards the back, 17 spots. I mean, started back there in 18th position. Not sure if he messed up qualifying or if that's just where he wanted to start, but he is certainly going to celebrate this thing on the front stretch and going to burn it down here as he is your winner here. And I guess blue wins the color wars here tonight.
And Joe supporting his blue numbers by Joe. As he says, he got a little business going on. If you got a favorite number, you can make turn into some art for you. So if you want something like that done, just hook up Joe. But we'll get a chance to talk to him. I'm sure he can talk about his business just a little bit before we let him go. But Joe Francis wins here tonight. Then TJ Hanley and P number 2 finish in 2nd. Matthew Hake will finish in 3rd. Go ahead and bring up the finishing list here tonight. There you go. So Charlie Stafford in 4th, Ron Millum, Dylan Emerson, Thomas O'Connor, Richard Covington, Cody Handler, Dylan Jacobs for your top 10. Kent Bice, Kyle Emerson, William O'Connor, Josh Duncan, Anthony Emerson, Cody Brewer, Tiffany Ellis, Alec Lueno back there in P number 18. Rest of the field here, round them off as I have to change the page for everybody. Be 19th Dylan Large, Kelly Akron in 20th, Anthony Engelhard in 21st, and Tyler Welch for your 22 car field for 150 laps here at Charlotte.
Well, we got a couple of our drivers here in and ready for their interviews, and I'm sure we'll get our winner here in a second as well. But I want to thank everyone out there once again for tuning in. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe, get you in touch with everything that Irana has to offer. Excuse me. I want to thank our sponsors here, TDM Motorsports and THD Designs, for all the cool paint schemes out here. But we got our top 3 in here, and about time to have a little chat with all 3 of them. We're going to start with our 3rd place finisher here tonight, driver of the 13, Matthew Hake. And Matthew, nickname Giggles. I gotta say, we had plenty of giggles watching you out here tonight. And tonight. I mean, it's I'm glad I can help with that. We kind of mentioned, we don't know what some of the drivers out here do for a living, but I figure, construction or engineer, maybe what your field is, because you were doing your damnedest to try and widen this turn 4 and try and just to expand this track.
Just a little bit.
So, what was it about the track tonight? We did talk about the track temperature being maybe a little bit cooler out here tonight. Did that play into part here? Was it maybe a little bit kind of washy coming out of turn number 4?
I was pushing a little too hard through 10-4 and kept on tapping the wall.
Yeah, I mean, all things considered, considering how many times you made sweet love to the wall there out of turn number 4. I mean, a top 3 at the end of the night, it's got to feel pretty good.
Yeah, it does. Especially after all the trouble I got in throughout the race.
Absolutely, buddy. Well, congratulations on the top 3 and finishing this thing out. I know it got a little bit rough through kind of the middle part of that race, but it looks like you guys all kind of made the same decision on pit road. And looking at the pit times, got me wondering, was it a 2-tire pit stop on the last stop there, or just fuel only?
Yeah, I took it easy on that last restart and did 2 tires and came back out.
Yeah, that's kind of what I figured. It looks like all 3 you've had kind of the same amount of time there. So it paid off for sure. Got you up there into the top 3. Got you up here in the booth for a little chat as well. So congrats on the top 3 here tonight. Thank you for making me giggle a little bit as well, watching you bang against that wall. But before we let you go and get out of here, who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
I want to thank all the rest of the drivers. It was a lot of fun in this race, and we had a lot of fun during the week. So.
All right, buddy. Well, congrats again on your top 3. We'll let you go celebrate, and we'll see you next week.
All right. Bye.
That is third place finisher Matthew Hake, nickname Giggles, and certainly got me going here tonight for sure. But second place here tonight, Jimmy is going to be the man that was behind a lot of the paint schemes out here, the 27 of TJ Handley.
Hey, TJ, it's Jimmy and Carl on the booth to copy.
Hey, Jimmy. Hey, Carl. How are y'all doing tonight?
Oh, pretty good. We're out here watching you kind of slay this track here tonight for a majority of it, out front with that number 27 leading the way. I know you're the, obviously you're probably responsible for a good 50% of the paint schemes out there, all looking good. Yeah, we just kind of watching, see what's going on. You had the lead there at the end, and all of a sudden you just kind of faded away as Joe kind of drove around, and you let him kind of go on by as you secured your P number 2 here. But kind of give us a rundown of your race, how it was, and then what was it like there in the ending that you kind of just had to let the lead go?
Oh man, qualifying was abysmal. That's just lack of not working on it and whatnot. But that's all on me. I tried to get a little cheeky with it because I noticed we were on a 4 times speed, so I was trying to let the weather go on. So 15 minutes, that would have been roughly an hour later. So I was trying to see if I could get some more grip, see if that would help me. It did not. As far as the race goes, I think we had that early incident on lap 5, and I looked at fuel and I thought, man, 5 laps into about 25, 30 lap run, whatever it may be. I was like, man, that's about the equivalent of like 10, 15 laps. I'm going to go ahead and pit here, and we're just going to see how this pans out for later. Turned out to be a pretty good idea. Got lucky with the cautions. Can't really complain about that. Although I may have been in the lead, Joe had the long run car of the evening. He was the best on the long runs. Every time I looked down at my black box to see where anybody was, he was always right there, and he was always just kind of creeping in. And so I was trying to figure out what he was doing, and I saw he was doing this little thing where he was entering high and doing like a late exit apex. So I was like, all right, I'll try that, and turned out pretty good. Right there at the end, I think he just didn't burn up his stuff nearly as much as I did. We both took 2 tires. I know my left side's after the pit stop was about 88%. But he had a much smoother line. He was able to run that top side. I not as good with that top side, especially in 3 and 4. And I already blocked him a handful of times on the back stretch and in the middle of the corner. That's why we had that big checkup. Was I was trying to lift a turn and he was already getting on the gas. I didn't want to damage his nose. That's not the right way to do it. So yeah, I figured I'd squeeze him on coming out of 4, see if maybe he would tap the wall. He never did. He kept it clean, and at that point I was like, man, can we get a yellow? And I was like, we're probably a little too spread out with no yellow. But I'm okay with that because I've already got 2 wins of the season, so I'm not complaining at all. This is a very good league. I know there was some kind of disagreements here and there, but I mean, that's in every race. You're going to have disagreements. That's okay. Yeah, the TH Designs number 29 Toyota Camry was awesome tonight. Like I love speedways. Like speedways are just my jam. I like the opportunity to run different lines, and a lot of the lap down cars were doing a great job. I know at one point 11th and 12th were battling with each other, and I know they were battling for that position, and they didn't want to let me by. So I was trying to let them battle at the same time, keep Joe behind me. But it is what it is. Like, you can't do too much about it.
Right.
Luckily, we got that yellow right afterwards. But I mean, this is a very beginner league. Everyone's still trying to learn etiquette, race pace. When's it the perfect time to push? When's the perfect time to just kind of back off? But it's a great learning opportunity. And at the same time, it's also good for me to just kind of like slow things down and work on my craft a little bit more. And yeah, just had a lot of fun. I was more than happy to put some money down for tonight. Anybody who ran a THD scheme, if you got 6 through 10, you got $10. If you got a top 5, you got 20 and a free paint scheme. I had to double check, see who got where. I think the 17 got a top 10 out of it, but I'd see who else was running TH Designs tonight and see how all that panned out. But yeah, overall I had a pretty good night. Can't really complain.
Yeah, it definitely sounded like you had a lot of fun out there. Obviously, just kind of learning and whatnot. Like you said, there's a lot of. I don't stress iRating too much as for leagues, because obviously you don't know whether they're just a league runner, and they should be like a 4 or 5K iRating, or whatnot. But kind of just seeing everybody's kind of a little on the lower side. But you guys did some great racing, and yeah, like you said, working on your racecraft, that's an ongoing thing, race after race after race. So, but either way, you did make some good decisions. You worked your way through the field, or falling back. Even if you burn up your stuff, you still walk away here with a second place finish, up 9 spots from your dismal start that you talked about. But you also provided a lot of great looking cars out there. So I want to say congratulations on your finish from us up here in the booth and everybody else out there on CRN, and give you a little time for any shouts you might have at number 27.
Oh man, thank you to everyone who ran TH Designs paint schemes tonight. I know Handler was one, Tiffinator was one. I think the 5 was scheduled to run it tonight. I don't know if he did. I think I saw on my screen he was always the Kellogg's car. Mm-hmm. I think the 60 ran a purple one. I think a couple people were going to try to run a couple, but if y'all did, great. I appreciate it. If not, you're not going to break my heart. Man, I hope everybody who was watching had a great time, because like we try to put on a good show, try to put on a good product, and you know, whether you're new at this or you're a veteran, like there's always room to grow, and that's what it should be about. Thank you, Jimmy and Carl, for putting this on. I do appreciate it, and thank you to all the THD drivers out there who run my brand and try to do me good. I do appreciate it. This is just me repaying the favor.
Well, I really appreciate the shout outs, and again, congratulations, and we'll let you go celebrate with your friends and family.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Yes, sir.
That is your second place finisher here tonight, the 27 of TJ Handley. Top spot here tonight is going to go to the 50 of Joe Francis. And Joe, we talked to you last week, same spot here. You kind of said that it may have been a little bit of a fluke, and you kind of worked your way through and got the win last week. Tonight, you can't say the same. That 50 was fast all night.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I feel pretty confident at Charlotte. It's probably one of the tracks I have the most experience at, and especially in the next gen, I have a few wins here with some other friends' leagues and hosted races. It's probably one of my better tracks, and yeah, I felt pretty confident about it.
So one of the drivers this season to crack through and get 2 wins on the season, but you do it back to back. So I mean, it's got to feel good, kind of mid-season here. You get back-to-back wins here. Do you feel like this kind of jumpstarts your season here a little bit? Maybe make a run in the points.
Yeah, I was a little bit confused when I looked at the points, because I guess I didn't understand. I joined pretty late. I didn't understand the season didn't just start. Apparently, it was going on for a little while, because I was wondering why I was so low. But it just is what it is. But yeah, I feel like it's going pretty good now.
So we'll take it all the way to the last pit stop here of the race, and you decided to take 2 tires. First of all, was that going to be the mindset regardless because of how the car was handling it? Were you kind of keeping an eye on what TJ Hanley did coming in the lap before and seeing if he took 2 or 4?
The closest thing I could keep an eye on is just how we were running together, and the only thing I figured is dirty air is a killer. So 2 tires was kind of the plan. Whether or not he took 4 or if he didn't take any tires, because 2 tires was the plan, because if he didn't take tires, then I'd have fresher tires. If he took 4, then the 2 would allow me to get out front and keep him in dirty air, because once I finally got the lead, that thing turned like it was a completely different car. So
it did, and you checked out there pretty quickly at the end to a 2.5 second win. So congrats on a back-to-back victory here tonight at Charlotte. We'll see if you can maybe back to back and get another win next week at Nashville. But before we let you go and get out of here, who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Shout out to you guys doing the broadcast. Shout out to the guys putting on this league, and I apologize because I do not know everybody's names yet because I'm still fairly new. And final shout out is selfish to myself, but if you look on my car, Numbers by Joe is my personal business. It's if you have a favorite iRacing number, I can turn that into a plaque. It's custom painted. I can put lights and do whatever you want to it. Make just about any size. And find me on Twitter, Joe Francis. Or Numbers by Joe. You can see some of my work on there, and look up a buddy of mine, Logan Hilton. You can see some of the stuff I made him.
All right, buddy. Well, congrats again on another victory. We'll see you again if you can do it again, or at least get another chance to get up here and talk to us in the top 3 after Nashville next week.
Yeah, I'll give it a shot.
All right, buddy. That is your winner here tonight. The 50 of Joe Francis getting it done, and definitely no fluke here tonight as he had a fast number 50 and worked his way from the back to the front, not putting in a qualifying lap, whether he didn't want to or he just messed up in qualifying. He started towards the back in 18th. Didn't waste too long, moved his way up through the field, and eventually got to the top spot ahead of TJ Hanley at the end. I want to thank everyone out there again for tuning in tonight. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe. Get in touch with everything SCRN has to offer us. We got another doubleheader tomorrow night as we will be covering the Virtual Velocity Racing ARCA series, and our co-commentators are going to be covering the Core GT series as well. But for myself and Jimmy here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, we'll see you at the track.
Peace.